As a belated celebration of Star Wars Day, it felt appropriate to showcase a recent piece of Star Wars media, Disney Plus's original series, The Mandalorian, focusing on the exploits of a Mandalorian and his cross-galaxy travels alongside a sought-after child. As with so many other Star Wars properties, the world building is an important asset. Several species and locations are casually explored, adding dimension to the setting. While the tone admirably and logically adjusts slightly depending on the episode, with some being more energetic or playful than others, overall, the patient, tense, tarnished, action-seasoned atmosphere of a classic spaghetti western is capably transposed into this sci-fi setting, assisted in no small part by its authentic, ominous, tribally influenced score. This is all aided by a deliberate sense of realism through visuals. Characters' clothes are obviously frayed, discoloured, and generally well-worn, their armour obviously dented, and technology obviously used. This unsaturated presentation adheres to the post-war, poverty-stricken state of the universe at this point. The Star Wars universe, I mean, not our universe. Although I suppose some of that applies to our universe too. Non-humanoid creatures are also gifted with a believable presence, through textured, attentive designs wholeheartedly honouring the craftsmanship of Jim Henson, which again I suppose is applicable to our universe too. Much like the Dark Crystal Age of Resistance, the difference between special and practical effects is often unclear. Episodes offer a fairly minimal central cast and totally focused conflict, thus providing an interesting juxtaposition with the vastness of space. The aforementioned conflict is invaluable. Willingly exploring, believable, suspenseful, investing darkness adds an emotional weight that's extremely important within any fantastical work. This is delivered through complex relationships, visceral combat, thrilling chase sequences, unpredictable story diversions, alongside ruthlessly dire motivations and scenarios. Due to its studious pace, The Mandalorian is a fairly character-driven work, with the titular character exhibiting assertiveness, capability, vulnerability, compassion, frustration, and professionalism. While these are arguably fairly basic character attributes, in the case of The Mandalorian, they are impressively communicated through a character whose face isn't shown, introducing an air of bravery and dignity to the show's writing. He may indeed be concealed by a helmet, but he is played by a real Mando, that man being Pedro Pascal. He is often accompanied by Baby Yoda, both in the show and during his personal life. Baby Yoda, by the way, displays endearing appearance and behaviour that adds simple, unintrusive levity while genuinely servicing the story. The actor playing him is surprisingly eloquent off-screen, definitely the most well-spoken miniature green alien I've met, or at least in the top 3. Gina Carano also appears in a prominent role as Cara Dune. Several other characters who appear are given satisfying, evolving personalities even within the space of single episodes sometimes. To fully understand my statements on The Mandalorian, it's important to clarify where on the Star Wars franchise in general I personally stand-alorian. My appreciation is fairly casual, limited mostly to half of the films, the other half I'd need to rewatch to make informed judgments on, and the Clone Wars animated series. I'm a passive fan, more of a fan Solo than I am a Fando Calrissian, and I am in no way on the level of a Wedge Fantilles. It's the adventurous, episodic yet overarching vastness of Clone Wars in this show that appeals. My only immediate criticism is one Mandalorian episode features a strikingly similar plot to one used in the Clone Wars, which is also used in The Seven Samurai, The Magnificent Seven, The Three Amigos, A Bug's Life, and The Magnificent Seven, the reboot. While still a compelling episode, it stands as possibly the only occasion in which The Mandalorian feels unimaginative. Due to its gripping, mature, versatile storytelling and presentation, The Mandalorian is highly recommended, and the apparent upcoming appearance of Ahsoka Tano in Season 2 is extremely exciting. I have spoken, so now all there is left for me to say is thanks for watching, and if I don't see you next time, I'll assume you're travelling the galaxy with a green-skinned child, in which case watching this show for tips is advised. The Mandalorian on his galaxy adventure, with a Baby Yoda making their way across several planets, yeah, but will they survive? You know, if it was a cartoon made in the 80s, it'd probably have a theme song like that, so let's just be glad that it wasn't.